Every single time I watch an Eagles game, every single time, I'm like, all right, I got to have stuff to talk about on the podcast. What am I going to talk about? I start taking notes in the first quarter. What am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? By the time the game is over, holy there's so much to talk about. What is up, guys? DJ Eastwood here, run it back, home of the most brutally honest Philly sports takes on YouTube. Some people don't like it, but it's because some people don't like the truth. Hit the like button if you like the truth. Hit the dislike button if you like lying to yourself. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. I give you these podcasts every single day for free. I want my subscription. Let's get into this, man. Holy crap. What a ridiculous game. I mean, who saw this coming? Well, you should have seen it coming because Eagles and Giants is always a battle to the death, no matter who's good, no matter who's bad. I was wrong about a blowout. I was totally wrong. I mean, the truth is, we're just as bad as the Giants. That's the absolute truth. I came to the realization now, we are as bad as the Giants. We're not better than the Giants. We have a better quarterback than the Giants, as you saw at the end of the game, but we're both bad teams. So I was wrong thinking because we put up a fight against the Steelers, because we put up a fight against the Baltimore Ravens, that we would dominate the Giants. Because at the end of the day, our offensive line is horrendous. The Giants have a top 10 defensive line. Carson Wentz ran for his life all day again. It looked just like against any other team. We're just not that good. So I should have known. It was going to be a nail biter. The truth is, I was lying to myself. My intro, hit the dislike button if you like lying to yourself. I was lying to myself. This is not a good football team. But I was right. Both defensive lines are going to get to the quarterback, and Carson Wentz is going to win the game because he's better than Daniel Jones. I was right about that. It could have been a blowout early. It could have been. Carson Wentz throws an early interception to John, I don't know what he was trying to do to get the ball to John Hightower down there along the sideline. At first, I thought John Hightower may have stopped running his route. And then I watched the replay, and I'm like, that is a horrendous throw. That is a terrible decision. Come on, Carson Wentz. That's not Carson Wentz. That's not the Carson Wentz we know. He doesn't make those decisions. Why suddenly this year is he making horrible decisions like that? Now, if you watch it in slow motion, he rolls out and Hightower turns, and I think he just assumed Hightower was going to run past his man, but by the time he lobbed the ball up there, there's 3 Giants in the end zone and no Eagles player to be found. Such a bad throw. But if he doesn't throw that interception and we get at least a field goal out of that drive, a couple series later, Fulgham drops a ball in the back of the end zone, an absolute dime that would have been a touchdown, and then Jake Elliott misses a field goal. So it's 10-3. It would have been 24-3 if we score on that drive and then score on the Fulgham. So it could have been a blowout early, and it wasn't because we shot ourselves in the foot like we always do. Nate Gerry had a field day yesterday. Nate Gerry was having fun because he was playing the worst offensive line in football. But leave it to Nate Gerry. He's standing up, celebrating, dancing all over the field. It was like Christmas morning for Nate Gerry. He's finally better than somebody. He can finally make things happen on a football field because he's playing a bunch of cardboard cutouts as an offensive line. He gets a sack on Daniel Jones. Are you kidding? You know how bad you have to be to let Nate Gerry get a sack on you? And then he runs over Devontae Freeman right into Daniel Jones. It was a great play. And, of course, Troy Aikman's hating ass called it self-defense when they called holding. I wanted to throw something at the TV. I can't stand this guy. He's the most biased reporter ever when the team's playing against the Philadelphia Eagles. Freeman bear hugs him and goes back. They call holding, and Troy Aikman says, I don't know about that call. You know, that just looks like self-defense to me. There's no such thing as self-defense, dumbass. It's a hold. Anyway, Nate Gerry had the best game of his life. But he's still bad. Because if you watch the play that Daniel Jones ran for 1,000 yards, Nate Gerry bit so hard on that fake handoff, the middle of the field was wide open. I could have driven an oversized load through there. You know, the truck with the house on it. That was horrendous defense. Anyway, so we go for it on fourth down by the goal line. And what's his name? It's like we're on like a fourth tight end at this point. I don't even remember his name. But he gets completely held. No call. But the same exact play happened with us. And I think it was Cravion LeBlanc, maybe someone else, didn't hold him quite as much as that play, and they called pass interference. So I'm like, come on, man. It's full contact in the end zone for us, but we do the same thing and it's pass interference. I don't want to blame the refs too much, but that did affect the game. I was right about the defensive lines dominating the game. Brandon Graham gets a strip sack to win the game. Oh, who else? Who else would it be? Who else would it be when it comes down to that last drive? And you say, all right, defensive line, their O-line is tired. It's time to end the game right here. It's time to get through there and make some noise. And it's Brandon Graham, just like he did in the Super Bowl, coming around the corner, strip sack, game over. Brandon Graham still has it. Fletcher Cox still has it. Fletcher Cox flying all over the field. That big dude he's still got it. You see the sweep play that he broke up? You don't want Fletcher Cox running out there landing on top of you. So Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox still got it. Josh Sweat had a forced fumble. Josh Sweat, look, our defensive line is tough. Our defensive line is the only thing we have going for us. Aside from Carson Wentz pulling magic out of his ass once again. Our defensive line is solid. Everybody's healthy. We're missing a few guys. But anyway, we got 4 guys up front that can get things done. So we're always going to be in football games because of our defensive line. Let's talk about DeSean Jackson really quick. The Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff should be ashamed of themselves over DeSean Jackson's injury. You're telling me a 34-year-old wide receiver who can't even get on the field, who was injured all of last year, who was injured most of this year because of a nagging hamstring injury, which tells me the guy is at the end of his career. His joints are frail. They can't handle it anymore. You're telling me you put that guy on a punt return the first game back and he has a high ankle sprain. Now, it was a cheap shot, of course, but there is no way in hell you should put an injury-prone 34-year-old wide receiver on a punt return. That is a stupid decision, an unbelievably stupid decision by the Eagles coaches. Now, I know it was probably DeSean Jackson saying it. I'm returning this punt. I want Miracle at the Meadowlands Part 3. You're letting me return this punt. You're letting me return this punt. They have to say no. They have to say, I'm sorry, DeSean, you're not returning the punt. You can't even play a full game. You can't stay healthy. We're not letting you return. They let him return that punt, and look what happened. That made me sick. It's ridiculous. They should be ashamed of themselves for that. DeSean Jackson looked good early on. It was exciting early on. Getting open. Carson's finding him. They have to guard Fulgham over here. They got to guard Greg Ward over the middle. They got to guard DeSean Jackson on the left side. They got to guard Hightower down the receiving corps looked great early. And DeSean Jackson was a big reason for that. And you put him on a punt return and take him out. Now he's done. Now he's done for the season. I mean, what is it? Is there an update? Somebody let me know in the comments if there's an update on that. He's done. Way to go, Eagles coaching staff. But either way, it was going to happen eventually because the guy just can't stay healthy at this point in his career. So it is what it is, man. The Daniel Jones run. Daniel Jones runs the ball for 85 yards. Are you kidding me? Do you know how bad you have to be as a defense to give up an 85-yard run to any quarterback that's not named Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes? 85 yards. I know Daniel Jones can run a little bit. He leads the Giants in rushing yards per game. I know he can run a little bit. But you gave up 85 yards to him. And if you watch that play, simple fake handoff to the left. Entire defense bites on it. Why in the world did the entire defense bite on that play? They don't have Saquon Barkley. Why in the world would you bite that hard on a bunch of running backs that aren't even that good? The entire defense bites. Daniel Jones has all the room in the world. Now, clearly 85 yards is his maximum running duration, because once he hit about 81 yards, he fell flat on his face. Because his legs turned into rubber and he just couldn't do it anymore. And I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. It was an amazing play. But that's a pathetic defensive effort to let Daniel Jones run for 85 yards. What did I tell you guys? I told you defensive lines would get through the offensive lines. I told you the difference would be quarterbacks. The difference would be Carson Wentz getting out of the pocket and making things happen. And that is 100% what it was. Carson Wentz haters got to talk to me. Carson Wentz haters, I want to see you. I want to have a meeting. I want to have a Zoom call. Carson Wentz haters, you got some explaining to do. I don't care if this Giants defense is bad. I don't care if their defensive line is not bad. I don't care if the Giants team is bad. Our team is bad too. So I don't want to hear it's just the Giants. If we were bad, we would have lost. But we have Carson Wentz. Down 21-10. This dude leads 2 70-yard drives to win the game, because that's what he does. Every time it's a big situation, every time you absolutely need something to happen, I look at Carson Wentz on the field and I say, let's go, Carson. Do some magic. Do what you do, Carson. Pull something out of your ass, Carson, because that's what you do. And he does every single time. 3rd and 20-something, he throws a bomb to John Hightower, an absolute bomb. Oh, Carson Wentz doesn't have a deep ball. Carson Wentz can't throw a deep ball. And if John Hightower can start catching the ball like that, that's a serious threat to have on the outside. You combine that with Jalen Reagor. Maybe we get Dallas Goedert back. You still got Fulgham snagging everything that comes his way. You still got, John Hightower, thank you, sir. All the mess I talked about you for those drops, thank you for catching that ball. Absolute bomb. They get down to the goal line, and they run a bootleg. They run a, what have I been saying for weeks? They run a bootleg. Carson probably called it himself, because Doug hasn't run a bootleg the whole season. They run a bootleg to the right. Greg Ward in the side of the end zone. Absolute sneak ball by Wentz right in there. Bam, touchdown. Bootleg. Get the dude out of the pocket. It's very simple. And then we go for 2. And what does Doug Peterson do going for 2? Does he let Carson Wentz throw the ball? Does he maybe run another bootleg? Maybe to the other side? No. QB keeper. Why is this guy so obsessed with QB keepers going for 2? Why is this guy so obsessed with QB read options going for 2? It worked one time in this game. The first score that Carson had, the read option to Boston Scott, it worked once. Other than that, 3 failed 2-point attempts in 2 weeks. All of them read options. All of them when we threw the ball to get down the field. I don't understand it. Boston Scott impressed me. I know I said Boston Scott stinks. It's really, this offensive line stinks. If they can create a little bit of a hole, Boston Scott sneaks in there, and he does have a little bit of Darren Sproles to him. You know what I mean? When there's no hole, he can't make something out of nothing because he's just not elite. He's not a very good running back. He's average. But when there's a hole, he can get through it. Boston Scott impressed me. The offensive line actually blocked and opened up holes a couple times in this game. I was shocked. We ran a successful screen to Boston Scott. I used to call him Doug Screenerson. I'm like, where are all the screens at? Why don't we run screens anymore? That was a fake handoff to Jalen Hurts, which I'm so sick of these trick plays. It's stupid to me. The play almost got blown up in the backfield. Carson saved the play and got the ball over to Boston Scott for the screen. Richard Rodgers, solid. Solid effort. Richard Rodgers is a solid tight end. We lose Goddard. We lose Ertz. Richard Rodgers comes in. What did he have? What did Richard Rodgers have, man? Did he lead the team in receiving? I'm pretty sure he did. Receiving. Richard Rodgers, 6 catches, 85 yards. Richard Rodgers. Who would have known? Arcega-Whiteside caught a pass. Oh, like, whoa! Was that number 19 that caught that? Doug Peterson needs an offensive coordinator like Amy Winehouse needed rehab. This dude cannot call plays. The only success the Eagles have is Carson Wentz making it up himself, scrambling outside the pocket, coming up with things off the top of his head on the fly. Doug Peterson cannot call plays. Now, I'm not on the fire Doug Peterson bandwagon. I'm not. A couple people talked me into it, but I'm not. But he needs an offensive coordinator. I talk about it all the time. The Frank Reich system that was so perfect for Carson Wentz. Doug can't do that. He cannot do that. He doesn't have the creativity or the offensive just awareness to run an offense like that. He can't do it. It's very predictable. And Carson Wentz has to make something out of nothing. And Doug Peterson's the worst two-point play caller I've ever seen. It's absolutely unbelievable every single time I see him run this read option for 2 that doesn't work. Golden Tate catches a touchdown, which is funny because, remember, Mike Groh couldn't get him into the offense when we had him on the team 2 years ago. Was it last year? Maybe it was last year. Mike Groh said it was challenging trying to work Golden Tate into the offense. Like, that guy was such a bad offensive coordinator. It was unbelievable. And then Doug Peterson takes over, which that's not going to be any better. Now, we did find receivers that can catch the ball, which is so nice compared to last year. Having Greg Ward Jr. come out of nowhere last season, and then Fulgham coming out of nowhere this season, and then Jalen Reagor comes back and plays like a number 1 pick that he's supposed to be. We got a solid wide receiver core. I did not think I was going to be saying that. But we do. Dallas Goedert back. Our only thing moving forward is the offensive line and how bad it is. And the linebacking core is horrendous. And, I mean, Jim Short's predictable offense is just bad. You know, in the third quarter, when we went down 21-10, Daniel Jones was just picking us apart, left and right, backing up and picking us apart. It's such a weak defense. The schemes are so predictable. I want aggressiveness. I'm ready for a Jim Johnson type of defensive coordinator. I want to see blitz packages. I want to put pressure on people. I'm tired of watching it. I'm also tired of watching us waste plays with Jalen Hurts. It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. I don't like it. Just because dumbass Howie Roseman drafted him in the second round does not mean you have to play the kid. Especially, you have momentum. Carson Wentz drives you all the way down the field, and you're going to waste a play trying to run a read option with Jalen Hurts. It's stupid. I'm sick of seeing it. And now there's people saying they got to let Jalen Hurts throw the ball at some point. Why? Why? When have you ever seen an offense, a successful NFL offense with 2 quarterbacks? With 2 quarterbacks throwing the ball. Oh, now Jalen Hurts is going to throw the ball. Now Carson Wentz is going to throw the ball. It's stupid. It messes up the rhythm of the offense. They're 2 separate players. And it messes up Carson Wentz's rhythm. Just stop it. I say, if you think Jalen Hurts is good enough to throw the football on an NFL football field, then you got to trade him. You have to. It's clear now Carson Wentz is healthy. He played all 16 games last season before a cheap shot. He's playing every game this year, getting absolutely blasted every play. And he's fully healthy. It's clear now he's the number one. He's fully healthy. We need offensive linemen. We need linebackers. Trade Jalen Hurts for something, please. How in the world are you going to have a valuable quarterback on your roster that you can't use? It's stupid. My final thoughts is we are not as good as I thought we were. We are not better than the Giants. We have the ability and the potential to be better than the Giants, but we shoot ourselves in the foot every single week. Our defense is very predictable. Our offense is insanely predictable, and we won the game because Carson Wentz is better than Daniel Jones. But I like what our receiving core is starting to look like, although the coaching staff got DeSean Jackson injured, and I'm pissed off about it. Offensive line is bad. Linebacking core is bad. Those are my final thoughts. My name is DJ Uswa. This is Run It Back. Give me all your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Hit the like button if you like the truth. Hit the dislike button if you like lying to yourself. Hit the subscribe button. I give you these podcast episodes every single day for free. Oh, my subscription.